Welcome to the Alsco Uniforms It Pays to Keep Clean podcast. Join us as we spend time with Alsco Chief Operating Officer Jim Kearns. I'm your host, Dana Craig. Let's get started.
Morning, Jim. How are you doing?
Great, Dana. How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's been a while since we talked, actually, because you've been put your bags back in the closet and haven't been on the road much, at least for Alsco stuff.
Yeah, I've been traveling around a little bit, but got a vacation in there in the middle, so.
Oh, good for you. That sounds good. And we're sitting here at Canada Place in Vancouver, so right on the water. And you can see the mountains in the background, lots of shipping, seaplanes, etc. So we're in a beautiful environment. Tell us why we're here.
We're here for the MDP conference, and so, yeah, it's great to be here.
And tell us a little bit about who comes to this conference and what are we trying to achieve through this program?
So the MTP program, it's headed by Gene Ketter. We've got about 50 plus participants at different levels, but it's where we train our future managers, right? And we get them together once a year, and we talk about leadership. We talk about a variety of different topics, but we're trying to prepare these folks as the next leaders at Alsco.
Yeah. And so when we were looking at kind of the breakdown of either who's here or who's in the program, we've got GMs, AGMs, people in production, people in the S&P ranks. We've got them across the entire organization.
Right.
Yeah.
And this morning I had breakfast with 6 people who were products of our intern program. So they were in an intern program last year. They decided
and transitioned into.
Yeah, they got a job offer, and they've signed up with us, and so they're now new Alsco employees.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so what can they expect from the conference? What do we hope that they walk away with?
Well, a couple of different things. We hope they walk away with new connections, right? They get to know the other people in their group. They network. Then they're going to learn a little bit about the company, a little bit about leadership, a little bit about how to, influence their careers going forward. And we're hoping to provide them some guidance and some things to look at going forward.
Seems like it's a pretty good group. A lot of enthusiasm in the room. Yeah.
Great group.
So you talked this morning a bit about growth is our water, of course, and then how we measure that, and then talked a little bit about the opportunities that this team may have. Do you want to do a quick review of some of what you shared, particularly the opportunity piece?
Yeah, I think that in an organization our size, look, we've got over 80 locations out there, and just through natural retirements, people moving on, people doing different things, there's opportunities that exist every year. And what I was trying to convey to this group was to be ready, to be willing to move. And it's great to be in an organization where you have a chance to move up, that there's real opportunity. And I was trying to tell them that what they should focus on early in their career is getting a great experience and having the opportunity to move up, and both of those exist here at Alsco. And so in my mind, it's a pretty good program to be in.
Yeah, it sounds like it is an opportunity to have this broad survey of how the business runs or how the industry runs even, and get a lot of really good experience to figure out where you want to focus in the future.
As you continue to grow, we need young leaders. We need to develop them, and so the need hasn't gone away. In fact, it's getting bigger every day, and so this is very important to our long-term future of the company. These are the next leaders, the next generation of leaders.
And Bob Steiner made a few comments about diversity, and I think that's what's great to see too, that we're bringing that diversity and diversity of thought and diversity of experience into the organization at the earliest steps, if you will, because then that's the opportunity really to make the biggest change.
Many people the company may never have considered in the past for advancement because there's so much ability obscured behind superficial differences. When we honestly respect our fellow employees, we will see through the superficial differences and recognize the real abilities we have standing before us.
Yeah, he first mentioned that at the office managers meeting in Austin, and his message was that we're not walking away from it. We are leaning into diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're proud of it. We think it makes us better. and we think that the people that are participating in our programs represent that. So we are definitely leaning into it, not running away from it.
Good. So tell us a little bit about the history. You said it's been around in some form your entire career, which is over 30 years. How have you seen it evolve, and what was the original need for it? Same as today, perhaps? Same
as today. It wasn't as, in my opinion, it was never quite as robust as it needed to be. And so, I can remember 2 general managers that kind of headed up the program, and some of our more tenured GMs were products of that management training program back then. Tim Weiler, who was long retired, he ran the program for a while. And we really took it to another level when John Yagi took over that program and really started to develop it. Yeah. And as the organization's gotten bigger, we do need more young leaders, right? And it's an industry where experience matters, right? It's important to have you're better positioned for success if you understand, the entire operation, right? And so grooming these leaders, giving them the opportunity to advance is important. And, right now we feel like we're in a good position. We could use a few more. And so we're actively recruiting people inside the company and outside the company to participate in the program. And we value the internship program. That's a good way to give, a young person a glimpse into our industry.
A bit of a taste, kind of low stakes.
Yeah, see if they really want to do it, and look, if they do well, then, we'll make them a job offer, and hopefully we can get them to come back. We have a pretty good track record of converting these interns to future management trainees.
Yeah. And I think what's exciting too is to watch certain branches have really taken hold of the program as well in terms of wanting more MTs in their branch than others. I mean, I sit down there and look at, it's 3 or 4 people from San Diego, some of who have gone on to different roles now. I think Charleston has always been a big supporter of it, and I'm sure there are many other branches. So that's pretty exciting to see too.
Yeah, I mean, there's GMs out there that view it as part of their job. We definitely have GMs that are actively engaged where we want to put our people to be trained.
And that's part of shaping our future, which I can see from your lanyard. That's the theme for this year's conference, but kind of sharing that you're building a legacy for the future, even if those people end up not in your branch after you've done the training for them. Like, that's okay.
Yeah, that's very much okay. I mean, it needs to be, it should be part of our culture, right? Developing people, and maybe it hasn't been so much in the past, but it's so important today when we want to sustain this growth. We have to have people that we know and that we trust, running our facilities.
Right. So anything else you want to say about the MT program? Otherwise, we had another topic that we wanted to talk about today.
Well, just one more thing. They're going to see our Surrey plant tomorrow. And, it's so exciting and inspiring. Last night we had dinner with our GM. We ate at a restaurant that we had just taken over, a new customer that we took from a large competitor here in Vancouver. And it was great. The general manager came out and told us, they were so excited about us. We were, providing them the product. They weren't running out of napkins. And so that was inspiring to see. And, talking with the GM, this is a branch that's taken off, right? They're showing some great new business numbers. And so I'm really excited to get these MDPs exposed to that environment. If we can do it in Vancouver, we can do it anywhere, right? That hasn't always been the case in Vancouver, right? As well as anybody. I mean, they've struggled for growth, and so these folks have embraced it. It's nice to have a new facility, a highly automated facility that looks beautiful. I mean, you could talk about the landscaping. I mean, they've got some of the prettiest
maybe a few other things too, but
yes,
they have some of the gorgeous landscaping.
Yeah, it's very well landscaped, and they're doing a great job there. And so it's a great place to have these MDP conference, because it's really set in an environment where we're we're growing the business, and these
Right,
guys
they're
can
walking
see.
the walk, and
Yeah,
so
and
they can see it tomorrow.
for sure. Right?
So Dan Barnettson is our general manager at Vancouver. Longtime Alsco employee, had worked in the downtown location for a long time, and it's almost too bad that you couldn't have a before and after to see where they had been working versus the new facility, which by square footage is smaller, but by efficiency is much much grander. So. Yeah,
it's a terrific place.
Yeah,
so it'll be a good
Vancouver's
spot for these. I'm excited for these folks to see it. I mean, it's a glimpse into the future for them,
that's right.
And they're all, not all of them are going back to plants that are quite as new and shiny as this one here. But I think they'll learn a lot.
Yeah, they'll have a good visit there tomorrow for sure. So the next topic that we wanted to talk about was our latest acquisition, which we just closed less than 10 days ago. I think we're a little over a week. That's Topper Linen in Toronto, Canada. So talk a little bit about why that was an interesting opportunity for Alsco.
Well, when we started this growth journey, we identified Toronto as a great market. It's like the 4th largest city in North America. We have a nice facility in Burlington, but it's an area where we felt like we had tremendous growth opportunities. And after that, this opportunity came up, and it seemed like a perfect way to really, get ourselves into that market in a bigger way, right? It just helps jumpstart, our growth strategy for Toronto.
Yeah, and Topper is located in an area called the Junction, which is not deep downtown, but just to the west of downtown, and then Burlington is probably another 30 kilometers or so west of that. So Burlington, I think, services, there's some overlap in service area for sure, but my understanding is a lot of the industrial type work or Burlington has other areas to service, so there won't be too much clashing. But also we've just added a lot of sales consultants in Burlington. And so now, we kind of have this ready-made market, if you will, that they can continue to add on to rather than.
We knew early on that capacity would be an issue for us there, and so, this provides us some additional capacity there. We have kind of an east-west presence now, and there's, the market. I mean, we could potentially have 3 plants in that market area. I know some of the competitors have multiple plants there. It's a terrific market, and so we're super excited about this. This is a business that had a great reputation in the market. It's a well-run business, and so
and a family-owned business, so there was a good cultural fit.
Yeah, very much a family-owned business, and so we plan to continue some of the traditions that Topper Linen had in their facilities, and we'll add some new ones with our facilities. Now, look, you were there at the onboarding process. Tell us about the employees. I'm sure that they're excited to.
Yeah, so they, Tim Topornicki, who's the owner of the business, provided his notice to all of the employees the Wednesday before we closed, before everything was official. We were not there for that because, of course, he's has a long-standing history with that team, and that should be a private moment, and it essentially represents his retirement, or at least retirement from Topper Linen. So Kelly Johnson and I showed up first thing Thursday morning. You're never quite sure what you're going to walk into with those types of situations, but everyone was so welcoming, really enthusiastic, shaking our hand, introducing themselves, and that attitude and enthusiasm really continued through all of last week when the HR benefits and payroll teams were out there doing all of the onboarding.
Terrific. I saw some pictures where, we put up some of our banners with our mission, vision, values, and so it's important to communicate that to these new employees. I mean, it's a stressful time, right? For everybody, and so, our intention is that they will become valued team members of Alsco, and we want to make sure that they understand who we are, what we stand for, what our plans are. And so
Thursday morning, we hosted all-employee breakfast, and the RSRs came first and then kind of got on the road, and then we brought in all of the production and office staff. So those banners were there. But the thing that was kind of special with this one, because they do have the Burlington neighbors not far away, which in a lot of acquisitions we don't have that. And so we had banners signed by the Burlington team welcoming them to the Alsco family, and it was really they had done a nice job with that. So that was a lot of fun.
We were good competitors in the past, and
Yeah.
now we're on the same team.
That's right.
And so we have, we're going to make the most of it. And look, we've acquired a few businesses over the last, several years, and we do a great job, making a great first impression with these folks. And so, all of the people that we've acquired have commented on what a great job we do in onboarding the people and making them feel welcome and, introducing them to Alsco. So this is something that we're good at, and we did the same thing here with this group.
Yeah, we had a pretty big presence. I think we had about 17 people, mostly dedicated to the HR, payroll, and benefits, the onboarding, led by Megan Hutter. And I'm always impressed when I watch them operate. They make it as painless as possible.
Right.
We also, of course, Kelly Johnson, Jean-Francois Gravel were there, Martin Talbot, who recently entered into the Service Excellence team, but was from the Burlington plant.
Right.
So he was working with service. Mike Skelton from engineering was out there, and then, of course, project management too. So
Yeah, I'm anxious to get, when the dust settles a little bit, get back out there and see how we do integrating this new branch into the Alsco family.
yeah, as you know, with their long journeys,
Yeah.
this is the big first impression, but there are
Right.
many other
Yeah,
impressions to
it
happen
takes
after
time,
that.
but we're definitely off on the right foot for sure.
We are. So we'll look forward to seeing how Topper unfolds over the
Right.
next several months. It'll be
Right.
exciting to watch. So July is shaping up to be a pretty busy month. We've got a sales meeting in the middle of July, followed by some branch visits. So talk a little bit about both of those.
So, we have the sales teams come in once a year. So we have the national sales managers, the regional sales managers. We talk about, their performance, so far this year and what we, have to look forward in the year ahead. So those are always good meetings. We combine it with, some of the operational people, and we have some good discussions about, how we're growing the business. So that was something we did last year. I thought was very productive. We're going to do it again this year, so I'm looking forward to that. Then after that, we've got some branch visits scheduled. We're going to go follow up on some of our acquisitions that we did before Topper. One in Brockton, one in Stratford, and in Allentown. So
Massachusetts, Connecticut, Pennsylvania.
the Churchill, Macintosh. It's, as you indicated, it's a process. It's a long process. So we're just going to see how we're doing in that journey to become, part of the Alsco team.
Yeah, we're coming up on right around 9 months, I think, for Brockton, Stratford, and Hyannis as well. And then Allentown, we're not even at the 6-month mark yet. So, but those will be good visits for you too. I'm sure they will be excited to show you around.
My last few visits have been more just a walkthrough, and so I'm looking forward to spending a little bit more time.
The actual presentations.
Yeah, and getting to know the people a little bit better
good.
and see what, see where we're at there. So they'll be good trips.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us in this beautiful setting. I bet our next one is going to be
terrific.
back in Salt Lake City, Utah. So
Probably.
we'll enjoy this view while we can. Thanks for your time, Jim.
Thank you.
That's all for today's episode of the It Pays to Keep Clean podcast. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of Alsco Uniforms, where we explore the growth and challenges in our industry. Tune in next time for more industry insights, growth strategies, and tales from the field. If you've enjoyed our time together, please leave us a rating and review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you want to learn more about our services, visit us at alsco.com. From all of us here at the It Pays to Keep Clean podcast at Alsco Uniforms, thank you for listening. Stay safe, stay clean, and we'll see you in the next episode.